For the first time in 8 years, the city of Oswego is about to have a new mayor. Billy Barlow stepping aside after accomplishing quite a bit in 2 terms leading the port city, probably more than a young 24-year-old might have ever imagined. People all across the city of Oswego should start expecting knocks on the door very soon from a young, idealistic man.
The city blooms in late May.
He's not looking to sell them anything. Billy Barlow says he's willing to listen to their concerns as he builds his campaign for mayor of Oswego.
People they could care less about the age right now. They just want their voices heard.
For the record, Barlow is 24 years old right now and would be 25 if he were to be inducted as mayor of Oswego, the youngest ever to hold the job there. Barlow says his focus is simply to make his hometown a better place to live, starting with addressing deterioration of neighborhoods, one of his top priorities.
We need young families to move in here, and we need to keep our retirees and seniors here. And you can't do that when there's one property on a block that totally disrupts the whole entire block or two. Not only that, but it brings down property values too.
Barlow is no stranger to politics. Just a couple of years ago, at the ripe old age of 22, he was elected to represent the 5th Ward of the city of Oswego on the Common Council. He is also 5th generation on his mom's side of being born and raised right here in the 5th Ward of Oswego.
So I think I've been very ambitious on the council and an outspoken, effective voice. And I hope that they judge me on my record and on the message I'm trying to articulate, rather than just saying he's too young.
Barlow says in his council campaign he knocked on every door in the 5th Ward 3 times before Election Day. And he had less time then than he does now. Jeff Kulikowski, News Channel 9.
I'm sure that's for Father. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a pleasure to welcome you here this evening to this very fitting tribute to Mayor Billy Barlow, as well as the Barlow administration. Further, what a tribute it is to the people of Oswego who selected William twice. I have Father Smigelski with me. Father really needs no introduction. Father is a great friend of the mayor's, and he's also his spiritual advisor. So the Father Smigelski keeps very busy. So it's my pleasure once again to introduce Father Jack Smigelski for our invocation.
You know, I was going to take my hat off, but when I saw those bright lights, I didn't want the shine to blind you. The one thing about Mayor Barlow, I might be a spiritual advisor, but he won't go to confession to me. Next time around, maybe, you know. I'm getting too old to be hanging around too long, you know. So let us bow our heads in prayer. Let us pray. Almighty Father, eternal God, we thank you for the administration of Mayor Billy Barlow. He certainly brought Oswego to life, and through his efforts, he has made us a great little town. So we ask the Lord to continue to bless him in his new endeavors, and may the Lord Jesus Christ strengthen the faith of the people here and guide us to eternal life. May Billy be blessed and his family, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Father. The State University of New York at Oswego would like to recognize, with respect, the Onondaga Nation, the people of the hills, or Central Firekeepers of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, the indigenous people on whose ancestral lands SUNY Oswego now stands. I'd like to also introduce some elected officials and other special guests with us tonight. Our host, SUNY Oswego President Dr. Peter Wosu, Governor Kathy Hochul's representative Tracy DeGenova, County Legislators Kevin Hill, James Karasik, Jay Scanlon, President of the Common Council and Mayor-elect Rob Cordino, Councilors Sean Burridge, Kyle Walton, Jesse Vanucci, Sean Walker, John Gozick, and Tim Plunkett. Finally, Oswego City Court Judge Tim Kerwin. Tim was elected for a 10-year term last month. He followed the path set for him by the late, great Lori Mangano. Congratulations to Tim. We're looking to 10 successful years. Also, a special thank you to all the folks here at SUNY this evening who helped make this event possible. Victoria Furlong, Christy Eck, Kelly Cullinan, Lisa Bramley, Greg Brewster, and Holly Stone. Thank you very much. You've made it a very easy task to prepare this evening. It is now my privilege to introduce to you their boss and new president of SUNY Oswego, who is already off to a fast start leading this great institution, Dr. Peter Wosu. Please welcome President Wosu.
Thank you, Jim, for the warm and kind introduction. And good evening, everyone, all protocols observed. And welcome. Welcome to the Charlotte Waterman Theater. We at SUNY Oswego are fortunate to be able to open our doors to our neighbors with such remarkable facilities as this gorgeous space. And the entire SUNY Oswego campus community is proud and honored to host this event and to wish Mayor Barlow Godspeed in his next journey. And while we are doing so with a very heavy heart, this gives us an opportunity, indeed an opportunity to reflect on Mayor Barlow's tenure and contributions to this wonderful city, and to admire the tenacity and poise of a 24-year-old who wanted to rejuvenate his city, a city that had fallen on hard times, who ignored party labels and worked collaboratively with everyone to revitalize the economy, redevelop the city's spectacular waterfront, and make quality of life job one from day one, who saw the potential in communities and people and was a driving force behind the thriving city we enjoy today. And indeed, on a personal level, I am very, very grateful to Mayor Barlow. And in the 4 months of my tenure here, I had come to like him as an individual. And in fact, I'd like to thank him, take this opportunity to thank him for welcoming me and introducing me to the community at the Cahill Pier opening on August 16, 2023. That date was my second day in office. And for taking the time to meet with me to discuss our vision as an institution, for his service on the Presidential Transition Committee that planned my first 90 days at this great university, for helping to shape our Vision 4040, which provides a framework for unprecedented growth for this university, a vision that intends to double the number of graduates from SUNY Oswego from 20,000 to 40,000 by the year 2040. For his service on the Oswego County Micron Steering Committee, a mix of public and private entities working together to prepare for Micron's arrival in the region, and for his role in our partnership with Oswego Health as we explore opportunities to address the nursing and healthcare shortage in our region. And even though he's not a SUNY Oswego alumnus, he will always be a member of the SUNY Oswego family. In fact, there is a great deal of similarity between Mayor Barlow and SUNY Oswego's founder, Edward Austin Sheldon. Like Mayor Barlow, Sheldon was just 24 years old when he changed the trajectory of his life and embarked on a journey which will touch thousands of lives, a journey that will forever change this city and beyond. It was 1847, the year 1847, when Sheldon arrived in Oswego to work in a nursery and to further his interest in botany. That job didn't really materialize, but Sheldon stayed on because he was captivated by this city, a city by the lake. However, he discovered that many children in the city were poor and couldn't read. And so this young man founded a small school, and that ignited his passion to develop methods of education, the result of which is SUNY Oswego today. Like Edward Austin Sheldon, Billy Barlow has left a legacy of compassion, the drive to continuously do better, and an unparalleled passion for public service. He has been a great friend of ours, not just to me, but a great friend of our university, and to the city we call home, the city of Oswego. And we can't wait to see what he does next. And certainly on behalf of our university, I want to say thank you. Thank you for your commitment to our city. Thank you for your commitment to our region. And thank you for your commitment to our nation. I now hand back to Jim to continue this wonderful celebration. Thank you, Mayor Barlow.
Thank you very much, President Wosu. I want to extend my congratulations to the mayor on a personal note on his 8 successful years of stewardship for the city of Oswego. The results of his efforts are obvious. I told him that I had a sore throat, and he said, "Well, you're doing it." He says, you got me into this, now you're getting me out of it." I met the mayor when he was fresh out of Arizona State University. We had a mutual friend in Dave Buskey. Dave calls me one evening and says, "Jimmy, I have this super sharp young man who I want you to talk to. He wants to run for city council." So my first thought was, if he's super sharp, why does he want to run for city council? Sorry, councilors. So once we met, the rest, as they say, is history. We formed a relationship and plotted the course, winning the council seat, learning the politics, running for mayor, winning, and taking office. The mayor being a quick study, leaned on me for maybe the first 12 or 14 months until everything was under his control. I told William from the beginning, don't worry about the political aspects of the job, that I would handle that. He took that quite literally. The mayor would be out with his sunglasses on, good-looking young man, clipping ribbons, riding in parades, making announcements, and I'd be on the phone as the calls came quick when political turmoil erupted. Those were the calls I enjoyed. Along the same lines, let me share this one quick story with you. I promise it will be quicker than the stoplight at West 5th and Bridge. One day, I get a call from William's mother, Lisa. Sweet call. Uncle Jimmy, can you come over for a cookout tonight? We often had cookouts on the Barlow deck. So I said, sure. This night was different. I showed up, and Billy's father greeted me at the gate, but there was no one else. Usually there was a crowd of people. So I said to William Sr., I said, what's up? And he very quietly, he whispers, Lisa wants to talk to you. I said, what? Lisa wants to talk to you. So I said, okay, we'll talk to Lisa. Well, if you know Lisa, she's a little spitfire. And these are the hardest working people you'll ever meet. So she abruptly comes out the door, right to my eyes. Uncle Jimmy, what did you do to the kid? So, he's a new mayor, he's young. I said, I didn't do anything to the kid, Lisa. What's the problem? Well, he's angry at something or someone. And I said, Lisa, I told you, this is politics. When you get into this, you're either on the steeple or you're in the basement. He's probably just having a bad day. So we continued to enjoy the barbecue. Bill looking at me, not saying anything. And I blame you for that, Bill. You could have stood up. Lisa, fire in her eyes, but the food was good. So an hour later, the mayor comes home, big smile. Hey, Jimmy. Hey, Mom, hi, Dad. No problem. Sits down, joins us. Another hour goes by. I leave. I still, to this day, don't know what the issue was. But I do know that William has a very calm and deliberate disposition. He's a decision maker, very decisive. But he doesn't make those decisions without the proper thought and care. His character, demeanor, and sincerity tell it all. You can't talk to the kid for 5 minutes, and I've dealt with politicians all my life, and figure out what a sincere individual this leader is. In that vein, we have a collection of friends, family, and community partners who know the mayor or worked with him these last few years, offering congratulations and best wishes. We're going to play that video now. Thank you. I want to certainly thank Kyle and Kyle Ridlon Productions for allowing me this opportunity to congratulate Mayor William J. Billy Barlow Jr. on 8 successful years as mayor of the Port City, as well as 2 successful years as councilor of the 5th Ward. It has certainly been a pleasure to work with William over the last 10 years, as well as his family. Like William, you know his family is top-notch and certainly an asset to the Oswego area as well as the central New York region. Thank you for allowing me to play a small part in your political and business life, but more importantly, thank you all for the friendship over the last 10 years, and I look forward to that relationship only growing.
So Billy, I want to take this time to thank you for all that you have done for the city of Oswego and for the surrounding community as well. We have all learned so much through your leadership, and I am eternally grateful for the many, many collaborations we've had. You've always been incredibly accessible and responsive to so many issues that have come before me, and I am very, very grateful for all of your help. I wish you all the best at Oswego Health. Thank you.
I hope that in Billy's exciting second act, I am granted a seat just on the sidelines, but close enough to witness his well-earned future professional and personal joy and prosperity, so I may beam in gratitude for all he has given to this city and to all of us. Thank you and best wishes, Billy.
Billy, good luck in the future. It's been a pleasure to have you as the Oswego mayor. Truthfully, from my family, Felicia, Aubrey, Azalea, and Apollo, want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts and our family, and we wish the very best for you and your family in the future. And you definitely have helped right the ship for Oswego. Thank you.
I just really wanted to thank you at the bottom of our hearts for all of the things that you did to help us with business transitions, building a new business. So best wishes. You've done an incredible job. We appreciate you more than you know, and thank you again for everything.
I would just like to say that I think that you're a stellar human being. I think you were put in the right place at the right time. We wish you so much love and all the blessings.
He's always been so in favor of what we do and so supportive. There's been no other administration in our 36 years at the McRobey Building that has been as attentive to our needs.
You allowed us to be creative, to bring in equipment and to occupy the space for the good of the community. And we're reaching a larger demographic, and it's because we were recognized and you worked with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Well, Mayor Barlow, here we are. The one thing you say I'm the worst at, speaking off the cuff, but I want to personally thank you for all you've done for the city and for all you've done for me personally and for my family. The department is in a far better place with your leadership than it was 8 years ago, and you'll be sorely missed.
Hey, Billy, thanks for 8 years of great partnership. You know, when I first met you, I'm not easy to deal with. I'm sure I had you tearing your hair out a couple times. But you've earned my respect. I'm so pleased with what you've done. And I am so glad that you're staying. And I know that we're going to cross paths many, many times. So thanks so much for all that you've done. And you've made my work much, much easier. So thanks.
And I've really enjoyed working with you, Billy. And, you know, we didn't always agree. And sometimes those disagreements played out, you know, quite theatrically, we'll say. As folks in this room know, we really could put on a good show. And thinking back to, you know, what really drew me into politics, sitting in those early council meetings before I was on the council, watching you, for lack of a better term, leveling opponents who tried to, you know, put a stop to your initiatives, who tried to halt the progress that you were trying to make, was something that stuck with me. You've done tremendous things for this community, so I really want to thank you for that leadership. Most importantly, I want to thank you for your friendship. It truly means a lot to me.
Congratulations, Billy, on all your accomplishments that you've achieved. I'm excited for your next chapter. You've done a great job. And thank you for everything you've done for us and our families.
Billy, we can't thank you enough for everything you've done for our family and for this entire city, and specifically for all the kids of the city. Thank you, Billy.
Hi, Billy. I just wanted to let you know I am so proud of everything that you have accomplished. I have been very fortunate to have an older brother that I've been able to look up to all of my life. But even more fortunate to have an older brother who has been the best competition of my life. And I've always had to one-up you, so I can't wait to see what you do in the future, but more importantly, what I do in the future. But in all seriousness, I am very proud of you, and you have been the best role model that I could have ever asked for. Good luck with everything in the future. Love you.
So, buddy, we're here just to let you know how proud we are of you. As mayor, you've done a wonderful job. You've made Oswego a much better place to live. Your energy, enthusiasm, you've really turned it around. But more importantly, as our son, you've made us extremely proud. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to ride this wave with you. Every day, you've just, I don't know, you've blown our minds. The gift that you have is just remarkable to us. You were in it for the right reasons, and it shows. I think you won the hearts of many. The people that doubted you, I think you won over. And we're sad to see you leave because you're so good at this, but we know that you'll continue to make great strides in the community, and we're excited for your future. So thank you for just being a great son, and we're your biggest fans. Dad?
Good job, bud. Good job. It's amazing, how you turn the city around. There's been a dark cloud over the city for a lot of years, and it's amazing how it's turned and it's becoming a place where people want to come and hang out. I've seen it go bad for a long time. The energy level that you put into the town, the people just generally come out happy now. They come out to the functions, they're loving it. It's great. It's just amazing how little things can turn into something so big. Little conversation, yes, we'll do it. You go for it. And I think that you'll always end up fine. The next level where you're at right now with the hospital and stuff, there's going to be some great things I'm sure you're going to do there. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more after that. You're still a young man. And I'm extremely proud of you. Couldn't be any more proud of both of my kids. They're just great kids, and they all did a great job. So,
We love you, bud.
So anything else you want to do in your life, I'm behind you. I'll back you all the way. And if you ever need any advice from me, I'm here. You're not only my mayor, you're my friend, you're my son, and I love you more than anything. So, great job.
Bye, bud. Love you.
Thank you to the folks that, excuse me, in the video for taking the time to honor Mayor Barlow. He deserves it, as you can see by the tangible, transformative results by traveling around the port city. Excuse me. You can see where our distinguished mayor has hit every corner of the city and every point in between. More importantly than the tangible results of the mayor's efforts is the rekindled spirit of the people. The optimism and hope has been restored, after being in remission for a number of years. Now it is back, and we fully believe it will continue for the foreseeable future under our next mayor, Mayor-elect Rob Cordino, who, by the way, just won his election in a landslide. I've been involved in government and politics in the Oswego community and beyond for decades. The progress made during this administration is unprecedented, unlike anything I've ever seen. Even more impressive was the ease in which William did it. Government is extremely hard to move. Making progress is very difficult, but he did it because of his vision, drive, and determination. A quick example of William's dedication. One evening he calls me, 8, 9 o'clock or so. I asked, what's up? He said an official from the Environmental Protection Agency, some government hotshot from Washington, D.C., was unexpectedly coming up tomorrow to investigate some issues with the city's wastewater system. I said, what do they want? Glad hand them and get them out of here. Well, William made the conversation quick. I knew he didn't like my response, but I also knew that he would go right to work and call me back. The next call I got was around midnight. He said he was prepared and confident. William calls the next day. He said not only did they no longer have an issue, they commended him along with the wastewater and engineering team for their work, thanked him for his time, and hightailed it back to D.C. This is one of many examples of how hard he worked, how focused he was, and his commitment to this job in this community. Knowing that, it is no surprise the strides this community has made under his leadership, as shown in this video presentation.
Hi, my name's Billy Barlow, and I'd like to be your next mayor of the city of Oswego.
I know what 22-year-olds are like and 23-year-olds are like. I don't think I'm ready to vote for a 24-year-old young man. Unquestionably, I have to say, he had my vote. This was an individual who I wanted to support because of the way he supported his community. And this is his community.
Billy made a decision, and then he'd go after it. And if it didn't work out, it's okay. He would try another one. He was not afraid to, what I would say, have that go after entrepreneurial, let's try it spirit. I think that was a lot of his success, and people admired that.
I think we all travel outside the area, and we come back to the area and say, we could be this. I think Billy is the first person to actually execute that. I know that people talk about how he has maintained our level of assessment. You know, when someone says that to me, I also follow that up by saying, and he's improved our quality of life at the exact same time. And that is very difficult to achieve.
It's really incredible to watch in such a short period of time, 8 years, all the things that have happened. And it has so much to do with the positivity and the mindset that we're going to get things done and utilize the assets that we have. It's been really amazing and refreshing to watch that happen.
I feel like he's raised spirits to the degree that it's just become the feel of our city.
When a leader like Billy Barlow said, We're going to build on value. We're going to make this a better community. We're going to become the best version of ourselves. And then naturally, people begin to rally around those things. And the great news about it is the more people do that, the more we help build value here and build a better community, it becomes easier and easier to keep going, and it gets better and better.
When people come to a music hall show, they stay in the hotels, they eat at our restaurants. We're all in this together, and I see that as just going up.
And now we're getting people, hey, let's take a day trip and come to Oswego. We're here, there's a lot of cool things going on. And that's how we recreate the vibe of a place to live and want to be.
Billy has a particular vision and a strategy that has worked. One of the things he said that I really loved is he said, "Did I make something better than when I found it?"
Who can't say that the quality of life in Oswego has grown by leaps and bounds? For many years, it seemed like we looked outward. Now, it seems that it's easy to appreciate this community. This is exciting to be part of this community now and feel that it's just begun.
At the end of this 8-year run and all of this work, I really believe that thanks to all of our hard work, Oswego will be better for it. And the best part is we did it together as a community. Let's stick together, lift each other up, go out there and give back, help others, and make a difference. Because the fact is, we are all only here on this earth for a very short period of time. And I truly believe that with the short period of time we're lucky enough to experience, we all have a fundamental obligation as leaders, as a society, as human beings, to give the world your best, help as many people as you can along the way, and to leave this place better than we found it.
The moment we've been waiting for. His last official appearance, the Honorable Mayor of Oswego, William J. Barlow, Jr.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I'm so overwhelmed by the number of people taking the time during this busy holiday season to attend this evening. I do want to point out that Chief of Police Phil Cady, for months now, has called me a lame duck, washed up, has-been mayor that nobody cares about. So I thank everybody for once again proving Chief Cady wrong. We're used to that. I thank you to President Wosu and all the folks here at SUNY Oswego for being here and allowing us to use your fine facility, and for your continued partnership with city government on so many different levels. Thank you, Jimmy, for the introduction, and thank you for the folks in the video this evening. I appreciate your kind words, and I realize they were directed towards me, but what I want tonight to be about is really the entire administration and the collection of groups, individuals, and organizations who help this community attain the remarkable results we have these last 8 years. I must admit, even at times, it doesn't feel real, even after 8 years. I walk into the mayor's office, there's my portrait, I graciously accept these accolades, review photos from over the years, and often wonder how it all happened back in 2015 with the election. and all that has happened since. It really is hard to believe when you rewind back to fall of 2015. City property taxes increased 60% over 4 years. Sewer bills increased hundreds of dollars a year, including a steep increase 2 weeks before I took office. City streets were falling apart, and the Fitzpatrick Power Plant had just announced its pending closure. So a few days after we won the election, Jimmy and I were mulling over a list of names of people who wanted or expected jobs with the new administration. I remember jokingly asking Jimmy, well, we won, now what? And Jimmy's response was a mixture, as it often is, of sarcasm with a generous dose of reality topped with a hint of challenge. He said, well, you can either get in the office, be Mr. Nice Guy, cash the check, or you can go over there, do what is right, and make a difference. I responded by saying, well, I didn't go through that horrific campaign process and endure all of that to get the top job and just sit there. So we assembled a strong team around me, took the oath, and went right to work on some of the easy victories and political home runs, such as firing longtime employees, attacking slumlords, laying off firefighters, and evicting the yacht club from their beautiful spot on the pier. I obviously say that sarcastically, as that surely was not the best political strategy, but something I still stand by today as needing to be done. And if anyone here has a problem with any of that, remember, Jimmy told me to do what was right. Starting with code enforcement, Jim Bell, Kurt Miller, Jeff McGann, and now Mike Clary helped with building the department while I leaned into the Oswego Renaissance Association and Paul Stewart's mind to assist with their efforts building a strategy to gradually reclaim Oswego's neighborhoods. We passed a litany of tough legislation requiring landlords to sign an affidavit attesting to their units being code compliant, drastically increased permit fees and violation fines. One of my favorite laws in particular, we mandated a landlord must have 0 code violations across not just one, but all the properties they own to get permission to rent property in the city. And when they did come in to get that rental permit, we required they be current on all property taxes, rather than allowing them to use the city as their unofficial personal lender. We passed a law allowing the city to hire a contractor to repair a rental property if the landlord didn't do it within the desired time frame. Started what I called the Code Blitz to concentrate resources, created a nuisance abatement committee to outright shut down problematic properties. And another favorite of mine, we created a property violation registry, publicizing the names and addresses of landlords who just couldn't seem to get their act together. And if I was in the right mood, I'd post a list on social media, creating some of the best keyboard warrior dialogue out there. Another day one priority was transforming what was then known as the Community Development Office. Historically, community development relied on HUD vouchers to finance the office and never thought to pursue grant funding that could fund moving our community forward. I immediately separated the two and rebuilt the offices with the help of Justin Rudgick, Nate Emmons, and now Amy Murphy and Jen Gallagher. We reformed the HUD office to not just be a government handout program to people with no jobs and no ambition, but a constructive hand-up program, opening the Inspire Center to financially help the single mother with 2 kids with her rent so she can go back to school or work a part-time job. Justin's skilled grant writing paired with my lobbying efforts in Albany helped us to secure, in our first 4 years, $20 million in state and federal grant funding for various projects. And that figure grew another $20 million to $40 million in our total 8 years. I'm enormously proud that earlier this year, Governor Hochul visited Oswego to celebrate Oswego being the first downtown revitalization initiative community in the state out of dozens to complete all their projects spurred from the $10 million state grant. Not only that, our original DRI project package consisted of 12 projects, and those original 12 projects from back in 2016 are what you see completed today. No changes, no failures. And the 12 projects leveraged another $100 million in private investment in our core downtown area. You factor in another $13 million in ready funds for the waterfront, millions more in state CFA and restore grants, FEMA funding, and some local funds, you have a new Oswego. We used this funding and maximized it thanks to our talented DPW. The Oswego Department of Public Works, commissioners past and present, Tom Kells, Tim Rice, Craig Rebior, who I relentlessly hounded day in and day out to start and finish small to large-scale projects on top of regular issues and constituent requests. DPW supervisors, Chantel Manwaring, Ronnie Cahill, Sean Clunan, Jeff Hamill, Chad Carson, Dave Hilton, Jeff Clark, Shane Blazinski, and Timmy Batchelor, and the dozens of employees across the many crews who not only worked to make the city the cleanest and most visually appealing it has ever been, but helped fulfill the projects that I could visualize in my head, but couldn't always adequately articulate. My description of some of my own ideas became somewhat of a running joke. I would say things like, I want this right around here, let's throw some pretty flowers around that, or let's do something like what I found in this photo, and let's paint it red, maybe blue, maybe both. Nah, I like red. And I would get photos sent back to me from the supervisors asking, how's this? Do you like this? And would you believe that that process actually worked quite well? No landscape architects, no designers or consultants. Most were homegrown ideas brought to life by our own employees. With the help of the DPW, we accomplished several transformative projects, $3.5 million to raise and improve Wrights Landing Marina, with upgraded bathrooms, a welcome center, fuel availability, resurfaced docks, and a new pavilion. We're selling out the marina every boating season. We built the popular outdoor splash pad and mini golf course, revamped the Garrett Dunsmore basketball court, installed the beautiful Brightbeck Park scenic overlooks and fire pits, created the Sunset Tiki Tours, constructed Oswego's first ADA accessible playground for those with disabilities, installed the outdoor fitness court, created Lakeside Park on East 10th and a half, improved Sheldon Beach, installed the Children's Rotary Park, built the city's first dog park on Mitchell Street, collaborated to install an 8,000 square foot concrete skate park, and who can forget our first project together, improving Harbor Trail around the bottom of Brightbeck. That project was an improvement I envisioned as a child, taking that overgrown and ugly and accessible trail and making it a path that countless people now enjoy walking and running each morning. And to top it all off, you can now even access the water. You know, what a concept. People complimenting projects is always nice and appreciated. But driving through downtown, or as I jet ski onto the lake, or walk by Brightbeck, when you see people from afar using the space you and your team built, that is the best. And when they use it for important life moments, such as weddings, prom photos, marriage proposals, even better. All told, over $100 million invested into our downtown, $30 million along the waterfront, and millions more in several of our parks and streetscapes. Moving on, Ken Schriebel and the Camden Group. Ken Schriebel and the Camden Group turned our water and wastewater facilities around, recovering from decades of deferred maintenance and bringing us into regulatory compliance. Bobby Johnson and Jeff Hinderleit are helping to navigate and complete the $80 million sewer separation project, which led to rising sewer bills in ravaged neighborhoods due to construction. We ultimately finished out that project ahead of schedule and under budget, allowing us to lower the cost to residents by $300 a year. Paul Canzone and Randy Griffin and Assistant Chief Zalewski and Chago at the Oswego Fire Department brought more capacity and capability to that department that could have been imagined some 8 years ago. The department's training, more than ever, embraced modern, state-of-the-art technology such as the drone program and other technological advancements, updated equipment and safety protocols, and slashed overtime levels. Chief Canzone's reliable leadership is destined to continue the department's development, and I know OFD will remain one of the top fire services in the state. Chief Tori DeCare and Chief Phil Cady have been the consummate professionals in their respective roles. Chief Cady at the police department I consider a close friend and admire his handling of the department, his political savvy, and his approach to his employees, the public, in consideration of everyone's needs. Along with Assistant Chief Damian Waters, we have successfully tackled some ambitious goals. We created the Oswego City Drug Task Force, resulting in the seizure of meaningful amounts of narcotics. We mandated more foot and bike patrols to push officers out of their cars and into the streets, committed to introducing more female police officers to the community, worked with the police union to restructure the department to maximize results and efficiencies, and we secured a grant to bring Donnie the therapy dog into the department to comfort victims and officers during traumatic events. The last 8 years, a team effort led to $8 million of paving of city streets. The introduction of electric bird scooters led our community through COVID with local testing sites and vaccine clinics, created new community events such as the Creepy Crawl and Downtown Block Party, and much, much more. And here's the kicker. We did all of this while lowering water and sewer fees, lowering property taxes, and increasing the amount of money we have in our city reserves by over $10 million. That is a thank you to City Chamberlain Deborah Code. So as I stand before you one final time, I feel an overwhelming obligation to reiterate a point that has guided me throughout these past 8 years. And though I say this to everyone in the room, I'm particularly speaking to those who currently sit in elected office, those who are about to take office, or those considering the opportunity to run for office. Government can make a difference. You can make a difference. Your actions have the potential to make a positive, tangible impact on the trajectory of this community and the lives of those around you. I've witnessed the transformation of neighborhoods, low-income families finding stability and, quite frankly, finding hope through our Inspire Center as they utilize the skills they learned to attain a career, secure an apartment, create a financial plan, and finally be able to afford that vehicle. Things most of us take for granted, but can have a transformative impact on people's lives. I've seen the completion of multiple significant public infrastructure projects that seem daunting or impossible. We've paved streets, improved the quality of our drinking water, and significantly reduced the discharge of sewage into our community's most significant natural asset, our water. We provided swift pandemic-related financial support to local small businesses at a time when they needed it most. We created functional and inviting public spaces, vibrant and attractive community events, new playgrounds, and other public amenities, drawing families and their children out of their homes together, and attracting new families who now call Oswego home. We've invested in our police, fire, and DPW to enhance the vital services we provide to our residents, and in some cases, those investments have saved lives. My point is, government can deliver for the people when it functions. When it functions, when political discourse takes a back seat, when pushing your political persuasion onto others isn't a top priority, when being unwilling to negotiate with people or even attempt to understand their point of view isn't the automatic reaction to a situation. So let the city of Oswego show to the rest of the country what even a local government our size can do when the top priority is not to advance a political career or score partisan political points, but to deliver for the people. It is my view that if you do what is truly right by the people, those other political problems will take care of themselves. The team assembled at City Hall during this administration, including the Common Council, is a team second to none, from our employees to department heads, including all those who served in the past and those continuing to serve right to the very end and beyond. At times, I know I am far from easy to work with, and I understand that, but I thank you for hanging in there with me. Now, I want you all to know that you weren't so easy to work with all the time either. But know that I do appreciate all the assistance. And while I may get the attention and the credit, I know, and this community knows, this never would have happened without you. And for that, I ask for a round of support tonight for all the city employees here in attendance.
Hi, everyone. I didn't want to miss the opportunity to bid fair.
All the stuff I've mentioned so far is wonderful. It's some pretty cool stuff, things I'm proud of if you can't tell. But I must say, some of the other rewarding moments were the small acts that didn't garner attention and often went unnoticed by the general public. When an elderly citizen had a medical appointment and would call my office because their car was stuck in a snow-filled driveway, I could send a plow to help get them out. Or when a mother called my office concerned that a tree was dropping large branches near the corner where her children waited for the school bus, I could send our DPW to trim the tree and make her children safer. And if they happened to call back afterward to say thank you, that was the best and most rewarding part of the job, better than the headlines, the TV clips, and the public praise. What may have seemed so simple to me meant the world to them and maybe only momentarily made their life better or easier. And the days when I could help someone like that were the best days and the specific instances I will remember most from my time as mayor. To succeed in any leadership role, you need key partners willing to put special interests and agendas aside to work together to serve the greater good. Lord knows there are enough so-called partners out there working against you rather than with you, so I deeply valued those out there that worked with me every step of the way. President Stanley and President Wosu here at SUNY Oswego, Paul Stewart and Steve Phillips of the Oswego Renaissance Association, Tom Snyder and Jim Dowd of Pathfinder Bank, Mike Backus at Oswego Health, and Eric Brzee of Farnham. Many other key partners were there for me every step of the way. The H. Lee White Museum, Safe Haven Museum, the folks at Arise, YMCA, the Oswego Speedway, Super Dirt Week, Chamber of Commerce, Assemblyman Barkley, and yes, even our governors, Andrew Cuomo and Kathy Hochul, for we all put party politics aside to work together. My inner circle of family and friends, which over 8 years in public life I can tell you shrinks considerably. Kevin Hill, Chris Catt, Mike Backus, Brian Buskey, John E. Jen and Eric Teresi, Dano, and so many more. Thank you all for always being there for me to relax and decompress. Now, for the record, nobody in this room who knows any of us knows that when we all get together, we relax and decompress. But I thank that crew anyway. My key advisor from the beginning, Jim Clunan, not only was he an advisor, but if I was the team quarterback, then he was the right guard, doing my blocking and tackling, pointing out where political landmines be planted, and doing everything else required of an advisor when the populace decides to elect a 25-year-old CEO of a 300-person organization surrounded by political sharks while making real decisions with significant implications that affect real people. And finally, now to my family. Now, Alex has only been around these final 2 years, arguably the smoothest 2 years, but particularly this last year, balancing 2 full-time jobs has been extremely challenging for me, and I have enough self-awareness to know that more than a few evenings when I would finally get home from work, I was zero fun to be around. So I deeply appreciate her patience with me and understanding of the current situation, and I promise only 2 more weeks of this. The same could be said for my sister Emily and my mom and dad, Bill and Lisa. While my mom taught me how to be nice to people, Dad taught me a real work ethic. And know that I admire how far in life you both have come, the sacrifices you've made to afford Emily and I the opportunities we've had. And know that of all my life accomplishments thus far, I am most proud to be your son. In closing, and I know I may be biased here, but I do believe that many years from now, our community will look back at our time together, from 2016 to 2023, reflecting on the work we did and agree that we did all we could to turn Oswego around. We made the city better for all. And we truly, as cliche as it may sound, undoubtedly left the Oswego community better than we found it. And you all played a key role in that. And so, for as naive as I may have been in that interview you saw at the start of the program, I can tell you that the faith I placed in the people of this community 8 years ago when I announced my campaign standing in Montcalm Park, that faith has been renewed and rewarded time and time again in ways I couldn't then have possibly imagined. And I hope your faith in this community has too. It's been the honor of my life to serve my hometown and improve the lives of my neighbors. I thank you all for your faithful support. I thank you for being here this evening and for the opportunity to be your mayor. What has happened to this community these last 8 years was not the act of any one single person, but an act of an entire community collectively coming together to make things better. And I know that I, for one, will always relish that fact and take comfort in knowing that perhaps when it mattered most, we made a difference. Thank you, everybody.
Hi, everyone. I didn't want to miss the opportunity to bid farewell to an exceptional leader, Oswego Mayor Billy Barlow. Oswego has been truly blessed to have a mayor like Mayor Barlow at the helm for over 8 years. He's a visionary who's always believed that this great city could become even better. And under his leadership, that belief became a reality. All of you probably know I spent a long time in local government. So I know how small buildings or small cities thrive when they have someone like Mayor Barlow in charge, someone who gets the job done. You don't have to look hard to see the transformation that's taken place under his leadership. Oswego is one of the first Downtown Revitalization Initiative awardees and the very first participating community in the program to complete all of its projects. And I was there for every single milestone. You can feel the energy, the vibrancy, the excitement in the air. And none of it would have been possible without Mayor Barlow's dedication and passion for public service. But it's not just about the transformation of Oswego. It's about the strong partnership and special relationship Mayor Barlow has had with my administration and myself. His unwavering support has been invaluable. We worked hand in hand to change things for the better, and I can't thank him enough for his shared vision for a better New York. Mayor Barlow, as you continue your work at Oswego Health, I wish you the very best of luck. There's no doubt in my mind you'll continue to make a very positive impact in the city in this role. Thank you for your service, your vision, and your unwavering support. And Oswego has been fortunate to have you as mayor. I wish you great success in all your endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming tonight and sharing in the tribute to Billy Barlow. The celebration is going to continue. We have some campaign cash that we need to spend. It's probably our money anyway. So please join the mayor and his family over at La Perilla's immediate as soon as you get to your car. Thank you very much. You've been terrific.